Who drove if you drove more than 20 minutes to get here, okay?
That's more qualified.
All right, you can't win your own book.
I just want to win.
All right, if you drove more than 30 minutes to get here, Jess, you can't win. All right. All right, if you drove more than 40 minutes to get here. All right, we got a winner here. Where'd you come from? Fuquay.
Yeah.
Wow. And she said it right, too.
I said it right.
There you go.
Don't love the name, but.
All right. So I heard, if anybody did, when Evan did this last time, somebody else said they could do it. So I'm going to try it and see how my jokes stand up. And just give one. I'm not going to win a book or anything. Actually, I purchased Evan's book off of Amazon last time because I didn't realize you were selling them. So I still bought it. So there's that. All right. So why the SQL and NoSQL database? Why do they split up? Because they just couldn't relate. Oh! And that's my time, folks. Let's give it up for Evan.
All right. Thanks so much. I didn't know you were gonna kill right before me. Set the baseline way up here. It's like our machine learning models. They're not good. They just need a baseline. Now I got a really high baseline to go for. So, Chris, thanks so much for having me out here. Happy to be out here at the, I assume, very small intersection of people who like data comedy, people who like Tableau. But I'm very happy to be out here. Very happy to be with people who understand the Tableau model, because that's actually the same as the Tableau comedy model. You see, what you've signed up for now is a 30-minute free trial. But after this, if you like these jokes, I would love you to subscribe to one of my monthly plans for Tableau comedy. We've got the plan to suit your needs. It's perfect. If you work with a lot of Tableau fans with good senses of humor, I can sign you up for an enterprise account. It would be great. Yeah, it's fantastic. And if the jokes aren't really your cup of tea, you don't think you need the monthly subscription, then what I can do is send you an email every 2 hours for the rest of your life and ask you to reconsider and go ahead and sign up to one of our paid monthly plans here at Tableau Comedy. It's not Tableau Comedy per se. It's more general. I'm a data and analytics comedian, which was not always been my job. I didn't major in analytics comedy in college. You're welcome, Dad. I actually started out studying economics. I majored in economics. Okay, became an economist. Thought I'd give it a go as an economics comedian, but there's no demand. Looking for alternatives, looking for other things to do. I read the very famous article on data science is the sexiest job of the 21st century. Okay, that's good for me, you know. I need all the help I can get. I was coming from economics, and economics actually was voted least sexy job of the last 7 or 8 centuries in a row. So I needed a shift, went back to school, studied analytics, and became a data scientist. It's great. Did not get any sexier, but I did become a data scientist, and I loved it. As a data scientist, I was really, really bad at it. I was really terrible. I was an awful data scientist. Tableau helped when it could. Can't do everything. It will be able to soon, we've learned. But it couldn't do everything then. This was back in the before days when data scientists had to come up with their own insights instead of just letting AI make stuff up. Data scientists had to make stuff up. I was not prepared. I was not good. I didn't know I was a guy. I thought I was a pretty good data scientist. I would build these models that I thought, that's a pretty good model. And I would go to show my cut. This model here. You can hold a model in your hand. If I can hold this. I would show my cut. I'd say, check out this model I built. It's Evan, what is this, a joke? So now here I am. It works for something. I was a data scientist for a while. Used Tableau, amongst many other things. I love loved Tableau. I used Tableau in the pre-Salesforce days. I was actually a Tableau user when Salesforce bought Tableau. I was a little confused at first. Mostly because I was confused by what Salesforce did. I had no idea. I don't understand Salesforce. So my first instinct was Salesforce bought Tableau, because nobody knows what they do, and now it's easy to explain. We do dashboards. Okay, sure. Got it. Yeah, it's easy to explain. But then I started thinking. Sometimes I just start thinking. Not often, but sometimes I do. And I was thinking, Salesforce is a pretty big company. 60, 70,000 people. That's a lot of Tableau seats. That's pretty expensive. And so you just do the finances. It's cheaper to just buy Tableau instead of just paying for all that. They use it for free now. It's easy. They got it for free. So that was a smart decision. That was a smart decision. So I was a bad data scientist. To the very observant of you, you might notice that I'm using the past tense. I was a bad data scientist, you guys. An observant crowd, Tableau user group. I did not become a good data scientist. I was a bad data scientist. I'm actually not a data scientist anymore. See, I was such a bad data scientist that I got promoted to director. It's a bit embarrassing. I do want to defend the data science industry. A lot of people complain that data scientists have bad software engineering skills. You know, we write poor documentation. Who cares? AI does that now, anyways. And AI does it too. We don't even need to touch it. You deploy notebooks. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Notebooks are easy to work with. But I tell you what, I was a terrible data scientist, and I got promoted straight to director. Okay, and that is straight out of the engineers' playbook. Okay, the engineers, they know if you're bad at your job, you're going to stop letting this guy touch the code. He's got to get out of here. So it's good. It's good. Followed best engineering practices right there. Became a director. It's right. I actually still use Tableau as a director. It's good. A lot of my functions as a director really lean on Tableau. I need Tableau. One of the most important things that I do is to try to communicate data, communicate analytics. That's what Tableau is built for. That's part of their mission statement, roughly, give or take. I think I learned. So I use Tableau. I'm not good at communicating. Or anything really, but communication's tough in data. We have our own sort of language, and we have to try to translate everything we do. And I'm going to tell a story. If it's okay, I'm going to tell a story. I hope it's okay. That's all I'm doing is tell a story. I hope it's okay. It's not okay, then I'm going to break the rules anyways and just tell one. So I was working with a client, and I'm going to say the client name. It was the Jelly of the Month Club. It's a big client, big name for us. Jelly of the Month Club is the gift that keeps on giving for the whole year. You might have heard about them. And I'm meeting with their sales director. Okay, and their sales director is, well, like actually, so I was the dumbest data scientist, and I got promoted to data science director. Can you imagine how dumb a sales director has to be? But it's okay. I gotta meet with that. I gotta communicate with this guy. I gotta communicate with him. And stuff, he comes to me. They've been riding this wave from Christmas vacation for the last 40 years, but sales are finally starting to dwindle down. They need something. They're turning to data and analytics. He says, we need help. We are dying. It's fourth quarter. We need to get new people to sign up for this. We need new joins. I said, joins? Well, joins? You need joins. The data team can support that. Data team does joins. Yeah, left joins, right joins, inner joins, whatever you need. He gets excited. So you can get joins. That's great. Just tell us what you need. I said, okay, well, if we're doing joins, we're probably going to need SQL. We'll need SQL. He says, that's great. We've got SQL. Anybody ever worked in sales? SQL is a very common sales acronym. It stands for Sales Qualified Lead. Yeah, exactly. It's somebody who's not a customer yet, but looks like they could be a customer. It's a good potential customer. So he's through the moon. He's all right. You can use our SQLs to get us joins. That's perfect. I said, yeah, of course we can. You just tell me what you need me to join. That threw him a little bit. What? We need you to join customers. That's what we need. So I said, okay. I I got your customer's table right here. What do you want me to join it to? Evan, join it to? I don't need you to join it to anything. I just need you to join the customers. I said, okay, a self-join. Okay, self-join gets a little bit tricky because depending on how we do it, if we do a self-join, we might duplicate customers. His eyes got so big, his mouth was so excited. He said, wait a second, you're telling me the data team can use our SQL to get new joins, enable double customers? I said, yeah, no problem. So he says, yeah, thumbs up, yeah, get to it, data team. So the data team got to it. And a week later, we broke all their production databases. All their dashboards stopped working. Yeah, they weren't producing any results. We are actually double billing all of their customers. So he calls me up, he's furious, he's fuming, he's mad. He says, what is going on? Well, you thought you told us you were double customers, and we're losing customers. He's furious. No, we did exactly what you told us to do. Which, I mentioned I'm a director, I'm really good at communicating, and I found that, when I'm dealing with people that are upset about a problem that I personally caused myself, it's good to be really condescending to them. They tend to get defensive, which is good because the alternative is for them to be very offensive, and I can't do that. So I'm talking down to them a lot. I'm very condescending. Do exactly what you do. You don't know anything about SQL or joints. So he gets a little upset. He tells me that I'm fired and that my whole team is fired and to stop coming to all the sales meetings. So I let him know, and that's a left outer joint. Good. All right. That's one. Yeah, Tableau's great for community. I blame Tableau for that one. I don't know what it should have done differently, but it really put me in a bind there. Communication is important. Tableau's also great. I get to do a lot of training. I get to do a lot of teaching. Tableau's great. Can show off lots of different things. Can interact. Can do scenario analysis. I love it. I do a lot of training. I had a client who was working with about a year ago. It was in-person, doing some in-person trainings. And these were data analysts that were getting upskilled in data science, like very basic data science skills, because those are the only ones that I have. So I was teaching, they were super engaged, ready to learn, very eager to learn. We'd been through a few courses. We'd just gotten to clustering. We were going to do a class on clustering. I'm teaching live, I'm teaching in front of an audience. Place kind of like this. No, you know what? This place right here is where I was teaching. Yeah, I remember it now. I saw the lighting and everything. It's the solstice, and now I remember. Yeah, I was teaching it right here. And I'm getting ready to introduce clustering, and my phone rings. And I'm a professional, so I don't answer it. And I go on to introduce clustering, but I'm also a husband, and my phone rang 9 more times. And it was my wife every time, so I was thinking, if I go home tonight, professionalism is not going to yell at me. So I was weighing my options, and I said, look, I got to take this call, but here's some videos you can watch on clustering. Here's the pages to read in your text. Here's some practice problems. I'll be back in, and we'll talk about clustering. I said, okay. So I go outside, I call my wife, and she's just distraught. She's beside herself. She's crying. I can tell she's been crying. She's super upset. So it's a tough conversation. Turns out our kid had got in trouble at school. He's in 2nd grade. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's very anomalous for this kid. 2nd grader, he's like a decision tree. We feed him the rules, and he's like deterministic to a fault about exactly what he's going to do. He's a kid that does not get in trouble at school, and he got in trouble at school, and my wife is just beside herself. So we chat for a little bit, I get her calmed down, and said, look, I'll be home in a little bit, I'll be home after the class, we'll talk about it, it's okay. She calms down. Oh, that's breathing through that mic. I should calm down too. So I go back inside, and I look up, and these students, I've been gone for 10, 15 minutes. Look up, nobody's opened their textbook. Nobody's opened their laptop. Nobody's done a single practice problem. I'm just beside myself. So I guess you guys didn't like clustering, huh? I guess you just weren't ready for unsupervised learning. All right, okay. So I do go home. And my wife is still very upset. My son, he's in 2nd grade. He's crying. It's very tough. It's a very, very emotional scene. But don't worry, don't stress yourself out. It's a comedy show. Okay, I'm going to tell you how it is. Things happen. So don't you worry. So I talked to my son. I said, buddy, what happened? What did you get in trouble for? So I got in trouble for something I didn't do. So I started getting mad. I started getting mad at his teacher. I said, what is it? He said, my homework. I said, okay. So I started getting mad at him instead. I said, buddy, why didn't you do your homework? He said, Dad, I was supposed to write 10 sentences in cursive. He's in 2nd grade. And now I'm furious. I'm furious. Because I'm not the smartest guy, but I thought for sure it would be at least middle school before I didn't know how to help my kid with his homework. And I hear in 2nd grade, he's got to write in cursive. And this French, this woman is just terrible. She makes him write in cursive. Who knows how to write in cursive? It's one of the dead languages. It's like the first dead language is cursive. And so now I'm stressed too. I start to cry. I compose myself pretty quick. I'm pretty good at that. I show him how to do homework. Okay, he just doesn't know how to do it. I'll show him how to do it. Are there any students in here? Any students? Okay. Well, let me tell you how to do homework. So we go to the computer, we open up ChatGPT, and that's homework today. We open up ChatGPT and say, hey, write 10 sentences in cursive. This is easy, right, kid? ChatGPT can only write in sans serif fonts. It doesn't know cursive either. This lady, Miss French, she found like the 2nd grade homework loophole. Dad can't help it. ChatGPT can't help it. The kid has to actually learn it himself. It's just miserable. Oh, she's just an awful, awful teacher. So I asked my son, I said, buddy, what happened today? What was your punishment at school? He said, Dad, I had to stay late after school and write on the board in front of Miss French. I had to write 10 sentences in cursive. I said, okay, well, that's a lot worse trouble than that. That sounds pretty reasonable. He said, Dad, I don't know how to write in cursive. I said, I don't have a great memory, so I'd already lost that piece of context. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, that's what happened. How'd you do that? You're home now, so something happened and you made it home. And so he relays the story from Miss French. Miss French apparently had written at the top of the screen in perfect cursive. She didn't write on the screen. I call this a screen, but she wrote on a whiteboard. I'll use the screen as a demonstration. She wrote on the whiteboard in perfect cursive. I will turn my homework in on time at the top of the screen. And then you may write directly below it, I will turn my homework in on time. And you may write it in perfect cursive because you may refer back to my perfect cursive. Then you will write it 9 more times for a total of 10 times, each time referring back to the line of perfect cursive just above. So that's a classic case of recursive. That's my smartest one. If you get that one, you're way better than like the general public. That's the smartest one. I love telling nerdy jokes because then I got a built-in defense mechanism. If people don't laugh, well, they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
So that one was funny to all the smart folks. All you smart folks. And so I'm a great dad. I'm a really good dad. So I decided, okay, kid, we're gonna learn cursive. Okay, you and me, we're gonna learn it together. I'm like best dad. I got a coffee mug, says it and everything. So we went to a bookstore. Y'all probably read about those. It's like an Amazon, but like in a place like this, in a building. We went there, we looked at these books on cursive. They got a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them. I don't know how to choose until I see one that's written by a data engineer. It says, data engineer writes how to learn cursive. So I said, hey, this is good. It's like kindred spirits. It's good data, folks. So we get it, we take it home. I got my 2nd grader sitting across from me. We open it up, and it's pretty engineering. And it says the very first sentence, this book will teach you how to learn cursive. This will teach you proper specifications for all cursive for your writing pipelines. The first letter rule covers the lowercase letter a. The dimensions of the lowercase letter a will be 1 centimeter wide by 1.5 centimeters high. You'll begin with the principle of the corner. We'll measure 1.5 5 centimeters up before you start to slow arc to the right side. And I look over at my son, and he's crying again. I said, I'm not crying that much, he's crying again. And this time is appropriate. You read a textbook written by an engineer, you expect to cry. That is the appropriate response. And I asked him, bud, you get this? You understand? I said, Dad, I don't understand the dimensions, okay, measures. I don't understand this at all. I said, welcome to my Tableau world. That is my Tableau world, dimensions and measures. This is the bane of my basic user experience in Tableau. I like that I was afraid that there would be no head nods and no laughs at that. Do other people confuse measures and dimensions? Okay. Nobody's nodding vigorously, but I'm getting the looks like, oh, I do, but I'm
All the time. All the time.
Yeah. Okay, all of us. It's impossible, but it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me. I've taken advantage of it. I've created a competitor to Tableau. Okay? This probably isn't appropriate for a Tableau user group, but I'm gonna let you know right now, I've created a competitor to Tableau. Okay? It's gonna be exactly the same. Exactly the same. Same color scheme, same everything. We're gonna use Einstein, we're gonna get sued, we're just gonna use it anyways. The only difference is it's gonna switch measures into it's gonna cater to the people like me who spend 30 minutes thinking about it and can easily think themselves in either direction and always end up in the wrong one. It's for us. It is for us. You thought this joke was over. It's gonna last. It's gonna keep going. So, any entrepreneurs? Anybody ever started a business? So easy. Super easy. There's all these books, people trying to grift off of you. I'm telling you, super easy. You need 3 things. There are 3 things that you need to start a business. You need an idea. That's the easiest thing in the world. Everybody gets ideas. Jenna's got them in her sleep. Okay? Ideas come. If you don't have one, don't go grab another beer. You'll get one. Okay? You need an idea. Number 2, you need a name. Okay? That's the second part of the 3-step process to create a business. 3, you need money. Okay? Usually investors need some money. So I'm good on step 1. Okay? I got the idea. It's a Tableau that switches dimensions and images. Now, before I look for money, I have a name. I need a name. And so I took Jenna's advice again. I took a nap, hoping that I would think of one, and I did. I thought hard during my sleep, and I was going to call it Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yeah, we got into a lengthy legal battle with Meatloaf. The trademark holds strong. We can't use that name. But then I was thinking, my alternative to Tableau is going to switch dimensions and measures because I feel underserved by Tableau right now. I feel underserved. Who else is underserved by Tableau? And I think about the people who use it, and I think about developers. And in developers, it's a very contentious issue when you're writing code. How do you indent your code? You got tabs and you got spaces. And I feel like the tabs people have got to be naturally drawn to Tableau to exist for them. So I registered Space Love. Space Love. Spacelove.com. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Don't. So I got an idea and I got a name. Does anybody remember step 3? This is a business orientation class. What's step 3?
Budget.
Yeah, money. We need money. I thought this was going to be the hardest part, but I tell you what, when you name a company Space Low, easy peasy. Elon Musk called me the next day. Elon said, "Hey, is this the guy who just registered Space Low?" I said, "Yeah, it is." I'm in. Take my money. Space stuff sounds cool. I'm in. So we got Elon on board. Elon's all about it. Elon loves Space Love. I don't think he has any idea what we do, but he's just, you talk space, and he just gets all crazy. I'm sure you don't suspect this, like he's very different in person than he is in the media, but he didn't want to just send me a check the first every month. He kind of wanted to get involved in the business. I'm sure you wouldn't expect that from Elon, but he wanted to be very hands-on. So he's he got us a building, it was great, he hired a bunch of engineers, that's great, we start building stuff, and then he sits in the engineering meetings and he's like requesting features, and he's a little out of touch, I think. He wanted VR dashboards, he wear like the headset in this VR, and all the engineers thought it was a terrible feature, but then you start getting hit in the face with a pie chart, and then it's kind of cool. So we spent a bunch of development cycles implementing that, and it's really cool. But we're starting to feel some revenue pressures, and we're not making a lot of money. So Elon, he likes money, and so he starts charging for coffee. He starts charging for snacks in the office. Of course, we are in the office. We are not working from home. And the last straw, he started charging for parking. And that's tough. That's tough. And I tried to talk him out of it. He's our biggest investor there at Space Love. And I tried to talk him out of it. But he's charging for parking. I said, Elon, we got all this space. We're the triangle area. It's pretty big. We have all the parking spaces in the world. Our parking lot's not full at all. We don't need to charge for parking. He said, yes, we do. We are space low. So Elon got hung up on this. He got hung up on the parking. I never would have guessed that parking was what would hang up space low. So Elon, he would start going out there in the middle of the day, and he would check for the parking stops on the dash of people's cars. And he was furious because they didn't have parking stops on there. He think people are ripping them off. His own employees, he thinks they're ripping them off. And so you're never gonna believe this. He started firing off angry tweets. Saying, hey, my employees are ripping me off. Hey, they don't pay for parking. Hey, I went out and checked all their cars. There's no parking tickets on there. And it was kind of relieving because the technical expert at the company, the parking manager, he tweeted back and said, we've got technology to solve that now. People pay with an app. And so y'all probably saw this on Twitter. It's all over Twitter. It's all over X. He's going back and forth technical arguments with the parking manager. But it turns out, yeah, everybody was paying for parking, but nobody was putting the paid ticket up on their dashboard. And Elon got so frustrated with this, he pulled the plug, and Space Low had to shut its doors pretty early, actually. And I called him, I was upset. Elon, what's going on? Really? Over the parking spot, we're going to lose Space Low? He said, yeah, I had a revelation. I learned that nobody ever uses their dashboards. All that build-up was for that one. I'm glad I liked it. Look, if you thought these jokes were bad, like these are the ones that made the cuts. The rest are in that book right there. And if you were too afraid to tell a joke to get one, that's okay. You can pay $12 to get one instead. That's easier than telling a joke, I think. Not for me, because I got jokes, but no $12. But I got the books here. Also, I want to let you know that despite the fact that none of you consented, I have recorded the audio from this show. That's right. Here comes another legal battle. But what I'm going to do, I would ask if you want to reach out all over LinkedIn or YouTube, and if you want to reach out, I'm going to build a Tableau dashboard that shows some laugh metrics and some joke metrics from this show. It'll be public as they can come, unless it turns out like really good. But that's all, guys. I really appreciate you guys having me out tonight, Chris. Thanks so much for inviting me out. You guys have been fantastic. Appreciate the laughs.
All right, let's give it up for Alan again. All right, so like he said, it's predictable. I can say the word. Can't even say it, much less spell. Predictable Jokes book. He's got some more copies up here for $12. He will be